What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody had an awesome week. I had a pretty awesome week. Um, but here we are. We made it. So tonight we have another amazing, awesome, and interesting guest. Her name is Miss Brandi Mallory. She's a motivational speaker. She's an influencer. She's a celebrity makeup artist. Um, and she probably does a whole bunch of other things that she's keeping a secret from me. But we're gonna see if we can pull it out of her tonight. Um, for those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Mallory and her movement, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and give a little background to what she has, everything that she has going on. So, with that being said, it's all you.
Hey y'all, I'm super excited to be here. So my name is Brandi Mallory. I have been doing makeup for 13 years. I am a professional makeup artist, celebrity makeup artist. I've worked with um, people like Keisha Lance Bottoms, who's the mayor, well, was the mayor of Atlanta for quite some time. And then I traveled with Monique and did her makeup, and now I'm her makeup artist here in Atlanta. I worked with Chrisette Michelle, Janelle Monáe. I work at every news station except for Fox 5 because I don't get down with them. Okay. But
Okay.
yes, I've had the opportunity to do things like that. In 2013, I did a television show on ABC called Extreme Weight Loss. I lost 151 pounds and I did that in a year. And that kind of catapulted everything else that came along. One thing that they taught us while we were on the show was we needed to find something to keep us motivated and connected to our fitness journey. And through that, I found Dance Your Pounds Off. So I've been dancing with Dwight Holt Jr. since 2014. I became a dance fitness instructor. COVID hit, of course, COVID, real life situations went left. I put some weight back on, and now I never disconnected from the journey, but I'm currently working the weight that I gained back off, and I'm still shucking and jiving, knocking it out the park. I feel good about life.
Shucking and jiving, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's
So,
what I do. Shuck and jive.
so like I was telling you, when I was researching your movement and everything, I was just really interested and intrigued about everything that you accomplished, from the makeup to the extreme weight loss, and then I'm assuming that kind of worked its way into the speaking part. Did that
Yes,
come that came afterwards, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
So the name of my business is the Brandi Mallory Experience. I transform faces, minds, and bodies through makeup, motivational speaking, and fitness. So when I do speak, I speak on confidence, body positivity, transformation. Definitely, those are like the highlight points when I am doing my speaking engagement. I actually have one tomorrow in Florida I have to go to, and I'll be talking to the girls down there about all of those things. Not necessarily transformation, but the body positivity and the confidence because these are young girls, and more than anything, I would say that's what we need the most as women when we're in those early ages. So I love talking to the youth more than anything.
I do a lot of on this show. I do a lot of panels about that very thing, beauty. When you hear the word beauty, what does that mean to you? What does that translate to you? What is beauty? What does it mean to be beautiful?
So my definition of beauty is a woman of herself, somebody who is confident in who she is, from head to toe. We all, I believe, struggle with confidence, even the most confident people. But it's one of those things where we all make a choice to just shake it off and not worry about what other people feel or think about you, because who are they, truthfully? And if anybody does have anything negative to say about you, that shows more about. I apologize, guys.
It's okay.
I'm in these streets. So that is that says more about the other person than it really says about you. So I think that beauty, or the best way to define beauty, is a woman or a person of themselves, somebody who is good with who they are, truthfully, through and through.
Wow. So how did you get into the whole how did you even get into the whole makeup, cosmetic situation?
Well, I think everything that you do throughout life, like all of your experiences, lead up and build up to the next thing. And for the first 10 years of my life, I did beauty pageants. So my mom had me doing beauty pageants from 18 months. And then I started gaining weight at 10. And all the comment cards spoke about my weight more than they spoke about the talent that I did, the dress that I wore, how my hair looked, which is what the beauty pageant was really about. But of course, at that time and in that era, weight wasn't deemed as beautiful. And I really think, if more than anything, that's kind of what shifted and made me want to be a spokesperson for a confident plus size woman.
Hmm.
Um, Weight is something that I will struggle with for my entire life. That is like my thing, so to speak. There will be things that make my weight fluctuate. And I think the one thing that shouldn't waver is how you feel about yourself and how confident that you are. And I think it was feeling the way that I felt in my teens that really made me not want to feel that way for the rest of my life. Like, oh gosh, how do I overcome this thing? Because I think that when you're not confident, you wear that,
Hmm.
you, and everybody can tell and they see it. People will either take advantage of you for it or not even want to be around you because of it. So, that's something that I feel like the whole beauty thing and confidence thing, that all was from my childhood. My mom put me on stage at an early age, so I never really had that, like, some people are afraid, they have stage fright. They're like, I can't be on stage and talk to people and talk to a room or a crowd of people. I never, I don't think I ever experienced that. And if I did, it was so long ago that it was
Hmm.
like, whatever. So when I went to Clark Atlanta University, I actually ended up getting my bachelor's in speech communications because
Wow.
obviously, if you can tell, I love to talk. So I just felt like I needed it to go. Big sister, hold on. I'm sorry. How you doing? I'm in the middle of an interview. I'm, um, sorry about that.
It's okay.
I'm a shameless plug. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Okay. Um, anyway, yes, I love to talk. So speech communications is my thing. And yeah, I feel like I went so left with that, but we out
No,
here.
absolutely. Um, I mean, nowadays, you brought up an interesting point. Like nowadays, it seems as though full figure is in. You know, that whole thick thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That whole thing is
definitely celebrated now.
it's a thing. So, like, do you feel like personally your life has changed or is different nowadays? And if so, how?
I do think that one thing that has helped me continue to be confident because, like I said, when I lost weight, like I was already a confident person at 400 pounds. But when I lost weight, like confidence was through the roof. When I put weight back on, I was like, uh, I feel like I'm so disconnected from this person. And I still to this day don't see myself the way other people see me. So I would say the one thing that's helped with it, um, and helped me continue to just remain confident, is the fact that everybody is like celebrating plus size women right now. Like it's it's something that I feel like the younger me prayed for, wished for, you know. Um, and being here now, I do believe everything is for a reason. I believe God put me in this place to kind of like reconnect and fall in love with myself again
Hmm.
because that confidence was shaken and because I speak on confidence, like that's super like important for me to make sure that I remain confident in myself. I can't be out here talking to people about stuff and then at home crying in the mirror because
Right, right, right.
yeah, I don't have a fake bone in my body, so I can't do that. And a lot of times, when I first like after COVID hit and I first was gaining weight, I was telling my friends like imposter syndrome is starting to kick in. Like, is baby girl really what she's telling people?
Hmm.
And it took some really great friends of mine, and of course, going out and guys still hitting on me, and it didn't matter. And then those things were like, girl, why are you tripping? Like, live life. And you're working on it. So I think that also allows me to remain confident. I think maybe if I wasn't in the gym working out, eating right, I think that it would probably weigh on me a little heavier. But I know I'm doing the thing. And I think that matters more than anything. So I would say the community and the people loving on big girls has really it's been a game changer for the plus community.
Okay.
It's still some nasty folk out there though. It's some real dirty people. Let me tell you.
Right.
But they gonna have to hate on somebody. My daddy always told me, um, you know, people will find something to talk about you about. So if that's what it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be.
Wow. So who was your first celebrity client? And what was
My
that experience like?
my first celebrity, so I would say big time celebrity that like the world would know, I would say would be Janelle Monae.
Wow.
Either Janelle Monae or Lester Holt. One or the other. But Lester Holt, like I didn't have to do too much of anything to him. I don't know if you know who that is, but being in New York, you should.
What you said, Janelle Monae and who?
I said Lester Holt. Lester Holt would probably be the first, but he's a guy. They get minimal makeup. But so I would go with Janelle Monae as my first like big celebrity. I did her makeup for the Trumpet Awards here in Atlanta, and it was great. Great experience.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, and like I said, that's something that's kind of one of my favorite topics because, like you said, we all in our own way have the challenge of self esteem, self confidence type of thing. Like with myself being very darkly complected, what I'm saying, it was very difficult for me at certain points because,
Well, you better stop playing. You know them people like their chocolate.
nah, not all the time. Nah. When
Okay.
I tell people all the time, there was a time that if you didn't have a six pack and baby hair, or if you didn't look like Christopher Williams or Genuine or somebody like that, then
That's true.
it was no bueno. But um, even now in my adult life, you know, I still I still kind of there's still kind of a challenge for me. So like when I come across people like yourself and others, I just really try to glean what helps you in
Hmm.
hopes that it would help me. You know what I mean? Because I'm always interested because we talk about beauty and we talk about what's attractive, what's not attractive, what's in, what's not in. But who really decides that? You know what I'm saying? Who really says that a certain thing is good or attractive or beautiful and something else is not? You know what I mean? And so I always I always love to discuss those type of things. And when I get a chance to come into contact with people like you, it's a treat. So let's talk about your wake up your weight loss journey.
Okay.
Um, how were you able to get onto the show? Like, what was that experience like?
So that was God too. And I'm gonna reference God in everything because there's a
Absolutely.
purpose for every move in our life. Every move we make, there's a reason why. And I was just sitting at home one day watching TV, and I saw The Biggest Loser go across the screen. They were doing their casting call for that current season. They had just left Atlanta, and they were doing their last stop in Cleveland, Ohio. And I was like, I ain't doing nothing that weekend. And I called my line sister who lived, she's from Cleveland, and she was there for the summer. And I was like, this is the summer of 2012. And I was like, girl, Biggest Loser coming to your city. If I book this Greyhound ticket, you want to come pick me up? Can I stay with you? And she was like, yeah. She went with me to the casting call. We was up there at 7 o'clock in the morning. The line was around the corner. And we went in. We sat in like a horseshoe type of situation. And there was one person sitting at the top of the horseshoe, the open part. And he said, I want everybody to go around and I want them to say, what's your name, where you're from, your age, your occupation, and why you think you'd be good for the show. And everybody on there was just saying, like, I want to play with my niece. I want to play with my kids. I want to be this. I want to be that. And it was all kind of like these extrinsic things, right? And when it got to me, I was like, my name is Brandi Mallory. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 28 years old, and I honestly just want my mind and my body to match. Because I didn't move like I was 400 pounds. Not even, when I say move, I don't mean dress, carry myself. I mean, like, I was fast for a big girl. Like, the things that they say about big people being lazy and all of that, I wasn't that. And
Hmm.
so I just wanted my mind and my body to match. And so I saw that after they dispersed, they told us they would give us a call if we made it, whatever, come back for another interview. He thumbed through the pictures and stuff, and everybody was coming to me and they was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your outfit." I had on these like sparkly heels and this pencil skirt, and everybody else kind of looked like they didn't care about life. And the man pulled my application out of the pile, and I was like, "Oh, he calling me back." Well, I did make it to that next round, to the callback interview, but I didn't make it on the show. They ended up cutting me after that. So I kind of like gave up. I was like, you know what? I'm probably gonna be like this forever. Let's just go on and keep embracing Brandi, big Brandi. It's gonna be like this forever. And in 2013, it was March or April, I can't remember, of 2013. My phone rings, and her name is Judy. She was from Extreme Weight Loss, and she said, "We got your information from Biggest Loser. They said you'd be perfect for this show. We're having a casting call on Saturday. We would love for you to come out." I was like, okay. At that time, I was like, this is behind me. I have a wedding to do this Sunday. I'm not okay, Michael. I'm so sorry, guys. I said, I'm not really focused on this anymore. So I'm gonna go do these people's makeup. If I have time, I'll go. Well, Friday came, they called me back and they said, you know what? We love you already. Just come for an interview on Monday. I was like, okay, cool. I went to the interview and literally everything I had to do just kind of like I coasted through it. Everything I did, they was like, we want you to send us these videos and this footage based off the interview that I did. And I guess that's how they put my package together. They called me back in May to go out to Denver, Colorado to do like a 2-week casting process in person. That's where they kind of like gauged how well we lost weight. Like the first week I lost like 13 pounds. Um, we had our ABC interview. So they sent the ABC executives out. And the first question they asked is, why am I here? And I sat around because we were trying to figure out, before we did the ABC interview, everybody was trying to hear everybody's story. People was molested. People had abortions. People had adopted their kids out after they were born, and they felt all this guilt,
Hmm.
and people who went through fires, like all this traumatic stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't know nothing going on in my life. My parents was good to me. Like, I don't know.
Right.
You tell me this. Why am I here? So
Right.
when they asked me that question, I literally was like, I never felt like I was good enough. I don't even know where it came from, but deep down in my heart, that's what was holding me back because I never felt like anything that I did was good enough. My mom would do things that made me feel like, dang, okay, I graduated from Clark Atlanta cum laude, but she's out here telling people I graduated summa cum laude.
Mm,
I graduated with a 3.4. She's telling people I graduated with a 3.8. You
mm,
know, it was just like, is who I am not good enough?
right.
And that was a little, there was residual from that all throughout my life. It went back to beauty pageant. Cute girl, cute dress, she needs to lose weight. There was always like a thing
Hmm.
added into everything that they were saying. So I ended up making it on the show. They loved me. They loved my energy, my personality. And I remember they told me in the middle of that interview in front of ABC, what if I told you you were the last person we picked to come out here? I said, I guess I have to show you why I should have been the first. And I ended up filming the hardest challenge they had ever produced. They told me after I finished it, they was like, I didn't really think you were going to be able to complete this task. When we set this up, we didn't expect you to finish, but
Wow.
I did. I was the last person to cross the finish line, but I did it. And
Right.
honestly, like one of the proudest moments of my life. I tattooed it on me. I'm an Iron Man for life. That's something that no matter how much weight come and go, that's something that nobody can take away from me. I did that. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And see, you kind of took the question from me because I was going to ask you
Oh, sorry.
how how has this experience changed you? Like
Sorry.
how has it affected you? What did it bring out of you that you didn't really know about yourself prior to going in? Like, did you find out something new that maybe you didn't?
For sure. I found out how capable I am to do anything I put my mind to.
Mm,
So there's no surprise why I am who I am today. You
mm,
know, there's no surprise why I could walk into a room with my head held high and pretty much know that whatever it is that I came to do, I can accomplish. You know, those butterflies will be there, sure. But then I remind myself, girl, you've done so much
mm,
and you've been blessed to be able to do it. So, having done those things, like really truthfully, it really just shows you how capable you are to do anything. And once your mind is stretched, it can never go back. So my mind has just been stretched. Like Chris Powell, who's a trainer from the show, he said one time that most people only live up to 25 or 50% of their potential.
mhm.
And I was like, dang, if this is 50%, what's
Right,
75? Because Jesus.
right, right.
So that's honestly my ability to see what I am truly capable of.
Wow, wow. That's really that's really awesome and very very inspirational. Um, did you ever find that people assume certain things about you because of your way or whatever? And I'm not just talking about physical things, but I'm talking about like psychological or emotional things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because you see sometimes in on these movies and stuff like that, the full-figured woman is always depicted as the loudmouth, opinionated, overstrong. You know what I mean? Speaking out of turn, all all that. Do you did you find that people You know what? Even better yet, when you first lost the weight versus prior to, what was the? Did you feel that people that people that you knew treated you a different way in both senses? Can you speak to that? Like,
Well, so genuinely, regardless of my size, people love me because I'm a genuine person.
mhm,
So I was never like mistreated when I was overweight. I would say I changed. I grew a little bit. I'll say the confidence I had then was a facade. It was more so like if I come off this way, people won't bother me.
mhm,
If I walk in the room and I got my eyes like this, nobody's gonna bother me. They're not gonna step to me. Nobody's gonna talk to me. They're not gonna talk about me because I look like we about to fight if you do.
right, right,
I was able to let that go. And even though I've put weight on, I don't carry that with me anymore. So I'll say genuine confidence has come through because before people assumed I was confident because I carried myself the way I did. However, deep down inside, I hated myself genuinely.
mhm,
My weight was the topic of conversation at the dinner table, at home, all the time. And it seemed like if me and my parents weren't talking about my weight, then there was no conversation going on at all.
mm,
And so I would say that shifted, and I can truly walk in who I am confidently for real. Um, but also, when I lost weight, I kind of got scared. I was afraid to do certain things because when I was bigger, nobody's going to kidnap me at 400 pounds. That's going to be hard.
right,
Well, at 190 pounds, men was looking at me real different.
right.
And I was like, oh, or they would even say real creepy things. And I'd be like, oh, this is not okay. So I had to build my toughness a little bit and like that person that facade of like this hard exterior person when I was 400 pounds. Sometimes when I was out, I would have to put her on because I didn't want people to be like, well, we can get that girl. So there were things like that transpired. And I would say those would be the biggest shifts. But more than anything, my boundaries changed.
Mm,
Um, yeah, at 400 pounds, I didn't. People used to walk all over me, and I would just be like, "It's okay," People that got close to me,
yeah,
um, after they got past that fake shell of a person,
yeah,
yeah, if anything ever happened, I would just be like, everything's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Now I have boundaries, and
right.
you could never. So, that I would say those are the biggest differences.
Yeah, I have a question, interesting question for you. I just kind of thought of it.
Okay.
So the process between lo- losing the weight, you know what I mean, that whole thing. How do you once you lose the weight and now you're 100? You said 190 pounds.
Yes, that's how. So at my smallest, officially, I was 190 pounds.
Okay, okay. So how how did you ever feel like you had to adjust your message? And what I mean by that is, okay, so at your largest, you're saying, okay, be confident in who you are, love yourself, blah 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 blah. But now you're 190 pounds,
Right.
and you're telling this woman, this person who might have been where you started out. They're there now.
Right.
So you're telling them, love yourself. You're beautiful the way you are. Blah 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 blah. But here you are, 191 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so did you ever feel like you had to adjust your message? Was that a challenge for you? Like, what was that like?
For sure, because in the plus community, everybody get along with you when you did. But the moment that you shed this weight, it's kind of like you get thrown away. It's like, girl, you're not even big anymore. So why are you talking to us? You know? And there were people who would come ask me, like, my experience or how did I do this thing. Of course, the one thing everybody assumes is I had surgery. Um, and I'm pretty sure it's because of how quickly it happened.
Hmm.
But, I would switch my message to love yourself to wanting to live a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
Because the thing about it is, even at 190 pounds, I used to talk about myself and say I look like a melted candle, which is why I come back to that statement where I said I really think God has put me in a position to truly love myself this time around.
Hmm.
Because even when I was at my smallest, I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't look like what I thought I would look like. You know,
Hmm.
I got all this loose skin, and my arms are still big. I didn't have skin removal surgery. Like all of the things that I thought would change didn't because of your elasticity in your skin. It doesn't revert back after you stretch it so far. Um, but but I knew I was like super strong and extremely fast, and my endurance was crazy. And so I started shifting and telling people, stop worrying about what you look like and focus on how you feel.
Hmm.
Because honestly, when you feel better, you're gonna look good regardless.
Right.
So, and if you focus on making these small changes, overall, eventually a large change will come.
Hmm.
So, if you're living a healthier lifestyle, the more you walk,
Hmm.
eventually you'll get to run. And if that's your goal, and I always would tell people like have write down goals of some things that you might want to try or you might want to do, and then we'll break those goals down into smaller achievable goals until we get there.
Right.
um I also realized and would tell people because they trained us like addicts basically, because we're addicted to food, like that's, and the sad part about it is, it would happen when you're going through something emotional. See, the misconception is that fat people sit around and they just eat all day.
Right.
It's not the case. More than likely, people who are extremely overweight, morbidly obese even, they really just eat the wrong thing and they probably eat once or twice a day.
Hmm.
And their metabolism just isn't strong enough to keep up with that. So, filling your body with healthier foods, 5 small meals a day, that's what your metabolism needs. And see, that's what I didn't know. So people used to ask me all the time, why did you have to go to a show to do it? And it's like nobody was telling me what to do, and I didn't know what to do. I never would have thought I needed, I got my dad at home telling me I could miss a few meals, and I'm thinking that's the thing to do. The
Right.
starvation mode is not, that's not goals. So being with somebody who was able to show me the right way was really important to me. And I think also just kind of like understanding that when you're on a journey like weight loss and you have 100 pounds you're trying to lose, like you really have to be around like-minded people. I never would have been able to do that in the environment that I'm in or was in at that time. So I feel like those were the messages or are the messages that I talk to people about now as opposed to before. I don't even talk to people about, I mean, of course I'll tell somebody you're beautiful just the way you are.
Right.
But if it's like, yeah, but I'm still, I still don't like the way I look. It's like, all right, well, I know a few ways that we could change that. First, let's start creating some goals, you know? And I talk to people as like we're friends. Like I try not to come at somebody like I'm better than you because I've been here and I've done that, because
Hmm.
we're all human and we're all learning.
Hmm.
So I think I take a friendlier approach as opposed to like, I know this, listen to me, you know?
Right.
So
And I think, and just personally, like, have you ever felt like, in some respects, have you ever felt like a hypocrite? You know what I'm saying? Like within yourself.
for sure, during quarantine, what? I was going through a breakup. I was eating every feeling I had. I was drinking liquor. I wasn't even a drinker like that because I knew that everything equates to calories.
Hmm.
So when I came home from the show, I was extremely like conscientious of everything that I put in my body and everything that I did. Before COVID hit and before they shut the gyms and stuff down, not only was I going to the gym at least 4 times out of the week, I was also teaching my own 2 dance classes and then taking about 5 other dance classes. That the guy who owns the White Hole, he owns Dance Your Pounds Off. He was teaching 5 classes and I was teaching 2. So I was taking 7 classes a week and his dance cardio was like, okay, it'll
Yeah.
have you over there questioning life.
Wow.
Um, and then we would travel on the weekends. So I'm doing all this movement, you know, and COVID exposed my eating habits. Like I didn't have to eat extremely clean and strict. Um, if I had a drink, you never would know because I was doing so much
Hmm.
that when COVID hit and everything shut down, I was reduced to working out and doing my little squats and crunches in the house, and then I'd go run me about 4 miles, and it just wasn't the same. I
Right.
was eating. So a few things happened during quarantine that shifted and changed emotionally, turned me back to my addiction, which is eating all the bad things. I was going to Cold Stones. I don't even know how I was getting the money to do half the stuff that I was doing because I wasn't working. But
Wow.
I found a way to get to Cold Stones and get me something to eat from wherever I wanted to eat that day. And then everybody started doing them shot challenges. I found money to get me some liquor from the liquor. I was figuring it out. I don't know. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I was making it happen.
Right.
And though that's how you could tell those addictive things were starting to set back in. So then, of course, what comes with that are 2 things called
Oh, you kind of went off the screen. Yeah, she went off. But
uh, I should have put my phone on airplane mode. I apologize.
I,
2 things that came with that were guilt and shame.
mhm.
And for a food addict, and I'm pretty sure for any addict, guilt and shame just makes you spiral even more out of control. It's not something you can see yourself doing it and say, man, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to go in the other direction. I don't even have money to do all this. But it's like I said, it's like something you cannot control because you're not right.
Right.
Um, and what was missing was a lot of positive self-talk. So I actually got a therapist, and I remember my trainer for the show telling me, because I asked her about therapy one day, and she was like, honestly, it's not a bad thing. Honestly, the strongest people have therapists. So,
Hmm.
you know, don't ever think that you're weak if you ever feel like you need to get a therapist. So I reached out to my friend and who works with a lot of therapists, and I said, girl, I need you to refer me a good one, and she got to be black. So So she did, and I've been going to therapy for 2 years now, and it's been the best thing I could have ever done for myself. And I'm finally starting to see the mental results, the physical results. Um, the things that I'm saying to myself are a million times better than what I was saying to myself in 2020 and and even the beginning of 2021, um, I can really see the old me. And
Mm.
so I call it I'm locked in. I'm locked in now. It's beast mode. We going up
So
through there.
so what I hear you saying is that your journey is your journey now is not while you do while you are mindful of the whole health and fitness aspect, you're you're more so trying to get back to how you were your mode of thought more so than how you looked at your lightest to get I guess yes you're saying.
Wherever your mind goes, the body will follow.
Right. Wow. Wow.
100%. 100% weight loss is a mind game more than anything.
So
I don't get on scales because your clothes will tell you the truth.
mm,
Um, for women especially, a scale will play with your mind. So of course, maybe weigh yourself every 3 months so that you can at least gauge and see where you're at. Um, but I used to weigh every morning, and that being a slave to the scale is just allows things to seep into your mind.
right.
So I would definitely
This is very like this is very interesting. Like it's very 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 inspirational to me dealing with my own personal challenges when it comes to self-esteem and self-confidence and all those types of things. So like you know I was at a point in my life where I think when even when good things happen to me or if I met a young lady or whatever, like it just never occurred to me that that person could be interested. You know what I mean? So like a lot of relationships I was in, I feel like
I'm
I feel
sorry.
like they were by accident. But go ahead, go ahead. I was just addressing the viewers, but go ahead.
I apologize. This is so ghetto. This whole interview.
No,
I'm
you're
so
fine. You're fine.
sorry.
It happens all the
Um,
time. Trust me.
okay, that makes me feel a little better. I don't remember what we were saying other than we were on the mind. But yeah, that's the most that I can really say about it is wherever the mind goes, the body follows. So you really have to shape your mind to be strong, stronger than anything else. And really, it's like believing that you can do what it is that you're trying to do. And more than anything, going back to that question, that's what I gained from my experience and time on extreme weight loss, the belief that I could do anything I put my mind to. And I have. So the proof is always going to be in the pudding.
Right.
Yeah.
So so as a result of your process and your journey, you even morphed into a motivational speaker of sorts. And so
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that journey. Like what's that? What has that been like?
Um, honestly, it's crazy because a lot of times people will go to college and they'll graduate and they're not even using their degrees. And
Hmm.
so, for a while, that's makeup was not the goal when I started college.
Right.
Um, but as it shifted into that, that was the one thing that my parents questioned, like, well, what did you even go to college for? And of course, it's to find yourself, like to really understand who you are and what you want in life. Um, but I found a way to be able to use my degree as a speech communications major and speak to people and understand what that even looks like in its wholeness. And like I said, I like to speak to the youth. I never want to limit myself and say I don't talk to men but you're gonna speak to the people that you kind of connect with most,
Right.
and that's women, of course, and then children. So I love speaking to the youth, like I said, because their minds are they're in the middle of all the things that you've already gone through, right?
Hmm.
And so I think that it's important to get those minds at that age because if you can shape those minds to be super strong, imagine the humans that you'd be creating. I mean, just imagine the people they would grow into and the things that they would achieve because they truly believe in themselves and what they're capable of. And they're not worried about what they look like. They're not worried about, if they're in a wheelchair or they maybe are deaf, you know, blind, whatever the case may be. Building the confidence in these children would really shape and mold a whole different type of human being. So that's kind of what my goal is as a motivational speaker. Um, yeah, it's great to be able to talk about myself because I know me, more than anything, and the things that I've done. However, that's never like just talking about yourself isn't all I want to do. There's so much out here to enlighten people on and introduce people to. And so, one of the things that I've created is a fitness motivation group, and it's open to all, gender and ages because I want to expose people to different forms of fitness for the same reason. A lot of times people think that it's just go to the gym, go run, but there's so
Right.
many other things. So I like putting together full experience events and things like that. I actually have one coming up in August on the 13th and the 14th. It's a 2-day workshop called The Beauty of Confidence, and then there's The Confidence of Beauty. Um, Everything that I do is shaped around confidence, of course. And then it's little pieces of me. It's makeup, it's entrepreneurship, it's wellness, it's networking, it's everything that I am. There's a health factor as well, where we're going to be doing like a real light workout and guided meditation too. So, just I think the best way for me to connect with people um, is to share parts of me with them, but not just make it about me. I hope
Awesome.
I answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Um, what would you say, what would you say has been the most common misconception that people have about you?
Common misconception. Well, I would say that I'm ratchet because
That's your what?
the common misconception is that I'm ratchet because I am always out somewhere dancing, uh, twerking, if you will, and having a good time. And I think a lot of times people will box you in and make it seem like you're just this person when I'm a really deep person.
Right.
and and I think that it's hard to correlate being fun and deep, you know. So that would I would say be the biggest misconception. I'm from the suburbs. I told you that I'm from Stone Mountain, in the suburbs.
Okay.
I think sometimes people think I'm from the hood because
Okay.
I, I get caught up in. I get, hi, thank you. Sorry.
Wow.
And that never gets easy. Um. Anyway, I would say that's my thing. My misconception would be the ratchet parts of me. I think it all is in everybody, but depending on how you look at it, I just think that you're having fun. Like, and I think sometimes because people are so focused on what other people will think of them, they reserve that part. They're
Hmm.
like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But really deep down inside, they're like, I want to do it. I wish I could do it. So I'll go with that.
Okay.
You didn't
Um,
expect me to say that.
no, I did. I really did. But then again, like I said, I ask this question to a lot of my guests, and I get so many different. You
Mhm.
know, I always tell them. Like one time, I had this lady. I've said this before, other interviews. And I had this one lady. I asked that to. I said, what's the common misconception that people have about you? She was like, you know what? She said. The most common misconception that people have about me is that I want their husband. I don't want your man. And then she just goes off on this tangent about not wanting other people's man and stuff like that. She's like that's her that's what the common misconception people have about her. That she wants their man.
Mm. She's
So
probably really pretty, and she probably wears tight clothes.
oh
So
I don't know. But
look, I'm going into, my mind is like, why that?
I I
But
so I'm when I ask that question, I'm pretty much ready for anything. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Because I've pretty much heard everything. But
okay, that's fair.
that's definitely different though. I've never heard anybody say that before. But that's definitely
Okay.
what's something that people would be surprised to know about you?
Um, that I'm very emotional. I'm a very emotional person, and I'm a Leo, so we never forget anything. We'll never forget, especially how you make us feel. So, yeah, I'll go with I'm an emotional person. I don't think people think that a lot about me because I'm such a strong person. Um, and then when people actually get to know me, they're like, "Yo, you're kind of emotional." So I like to share my feelings with people and be in the moment in that way. And sometimes people don't like to talk about their feelings, so
Right,
or be as open with them anyway.
right.
So yeah, I'll go with that. I'm emotional, which I don't think
Okay,
is a bad thing.
right.
Some
Okay.
people do.
Well, this is my last official question for you.
Okay.
This is the question that I ask all my guests, right? So
Mhm.
I want you to just, once I ask it, I want you just to think about it for a second and then give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the question. What would have to happen in your life if it hasn't happened already for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically?
Ooh, that is a loaded question because I expect a lot from me because a lot has happened in my life. So, success for me obviously would be living the life of my dreams. And I'll go with my dreams, driving my dream car, being in a healthy marriage with children, and being like an Emmy award winning makeup artist or like, you know, makeup guru, makeup by Mario, if you will, but Brandi style.
Right.
Like people know me for makeup. I'm known right now for obviously transformation, fitness, being this plus size bombshell of a person. But because makeup is like, my thing, I really want to be known in that realm. Um, so I would go with that being my dream life. And that would make me feel successful. But I
Okay.
already feel successful, truthfully. I do. I
Okay.
feel like the Brandy I am right now, I'm already successful. And there's levels to everything that we do in life. And I just have to continue to level up. So I'm already succeeding. I just got to keep leveling up. Unlock
Okay.
that, unlock the ultimate, I guess, level of success, which would be what I just explained.
Okay. That is awesome. Um, I want to thank you supremely for coming on the platform. I know that we kind of our signals got crossed a couple times, but
I'm so
I
sorry.
no, I appreciate the time. I know that you are in the middle of something right now. So, but I want to thank you supremely for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I hope and look forward to having you on again in the near
Yeah.
future. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you or wanted some advice or whatever, how can
Yes.
they get in touch with you?
So I actually respond to my DMs, so you can hit me on my Instagram page at Brandi Mallory. Um, it's already spelled on the screen, but I will spell it out: BrandiMallory. That would be the best way, honestly, the easiest way. I feel like I'm always in my phone, so not that my notifications are on, because they'd be doing too much if they were. But I'm always on Instagram, and I check both of those messages out. So like, even if it doesn't come to my immediate DM, I still check the extra DM. Um, so I would say that's the easiest way and how most people get in contact with me. And also on that platform, my email address is there as well. So that would be the second route for sure. And I
Awesome.
look forward to speaking with everybody. Hit me up. Um, and thank you for having me. Like truthfully, it's always an honor to be able to share my journey and the things that I've learned because I truly believe that's why God put us here. He didn't give us these opportunities in this life to keep it to ourselves. He really gave it to us to share our stories with other people in hopes to help change somebody else's situation. So it's an honor to be here and I'm really grateful. I this was not planned, but this was. So when
Mm,
this came about, it was like, hey, you gotta roll with this punch. I'll catch you in a few minutes, but I'm
right.
gonna do this first. So because this is the purpose, you know, this
Yeah.
is what gives me purpose and what drives me. So it's more important than anything else that I have going on uh, tonight.
I appreciate it, and I'm not gonna hold you, but I appreciate it, and I thank you. Do you have any last words that you wanna share before you go off, or
No, I just think that I'm grateful. Like that's all I really have.
yeah,
Uh, Glad to have been able to be here. Nothing to share other than I have a favorite quote I could give you.
sure,
And my favorite quote is if you reach for the stars, you might get to the top of a tree, but at least you got off the ground. Is you might only get to the top of a tree, but at least you got off the ground. Basically, bust a move. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you're trying to do in life, bust a move. You'll get somewhere. But you
yeah,
gotta move. You gotta
right,
do something first.
right.
So and God always responds. If it's the right thing and it's in alignment with what you're here to do, he always responds.
Wow, awesome. Well, again, I won't hold you, but again, I thank you and I appreciate you, and I hope you have a awesome rest of the night and a really even better weekend.
And I pray the same for you too, brother.
All right, take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
There you have it. Miss Brandi Mallory, influencer, makeup artist, motivational speaker. She was on ABC's Extreme Makeover, Extreme Weight. No, wait, let me make sure I got it right. Let me make sure. Extreme Weight Loss on ABC. Um, she lost like 150 pounds in like a year. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. But mainly we talked about, just mindset, even more than the physical health. It's the mindset that sets the stage for the other stuff to take place. And so we must first work on our thinking. You know what I'm saying? If we can see it, we can be it. We can do it. And I know that kind of sounded corny, cliche, but it really it really carries weight and it's really a real thing. You know what I mean? As I was speaking earlier, with myself, that's something that has really been a challenge for me my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Seeing myself as, valuable, or seeing myself as other people see me. You know what I mean? There have been moments and opportunities, relationships where I feel like I just kind of fell into them because it never dawned on me that somebody might be interested. You know what I'm saying? Or might, you know, reciprocate the same type of feelings that I had towards them. And so, what a lot of people might have misconstrued as humility or shyness, it was really insecurity, low self-esteem, you know what I mean? Just not feeling um, worthy, you know what I mean? But, as I've grown and as I've, learned more about myself, you know what I'm saying, done more research on myself, I realized that I am worthy. I do have something to offer. I do have the ability to inspire somebody just like people inspire me. And so I guess that's what I'm saying. It starts up here, you know what I'm saying? And then everything else kind of falls into place. You know what I mean? It's a mindset, and even in the Bible it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all the other things will be added unto you. I feel when you're reaching, even in that scripture is saying you're change your thinking, your desire is for him. And then as you're reaching for his understanding, his grace, his mercy, his love, his revelation, those types of things, then without you even really realizing it, all these other things will start to manifest. You know what I'm saying? And what'll happen is somebody else will notice and be like, "Hey, did you lose weight?" And you be like, "Dang, yeah, I did kind of lose weight." You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. You seem a lot happier. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say, change your, you work hard every day to change your mindset, renew your mind. Um, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? You are worthy. You do have something to offer. You can inspire. You can encourage and embolden. And I say this all the time, but it is an unfortunate truth that a lot of us will pass away before we truly know our the full impact that we've had on others. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't share how you inspired me. I don't share how you encouraged me. I don't share how you helped me in my lowest time, by just being there. You know what I'm saying? Giving me a quote, or buying me lunch when I didn't. Whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? A lot of times we keep that to ourselves, and then when it's too late. That's when we expose how people have inspired and impacted us. But, again, like I've said before, what I'm saying, I've made it my personal mission to do my best to acknowledge anybody who has touched my life in a positive way and allow me to go in a positive direction. You know what I'm saying? Or inspire me, or even check me. You know what I mean? Uh, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Because one deviation this way or that way, it could have went a whole nother way. And so with that being said, man, I say, change your mind, man. Change your mind, and all those things that you look for, that you desire, that you dream of, that you aspire to be, you can have them if you believe that you can have them. Everybody's journey and story is not the same. It may seem like you have a harder road to go than somebody else, but that shouldn't deter you from going nonetheless. So, with that being said, good night. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay out of trouble, and I hope to see you guys next week. All right. That being said, let's take a walk.